The Mercedes-Benz AMG GT is literally a high-performance luxury rocket sled designed to shred tracks while being comfortable and fierce-looking while doing so. The incredibly wide, low-slung GT is anything but subtle, and with its screaming twin-turbo V8, it screams all business. But where does it go from here? What does the future of the GT look like? Considering what Mercedes just unveiled a few weeks ago, the GT could look and sound considerably different than its predecessors. That brings us to the Mercedes-Benz AMG GT XX concept. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Jason. Thanks for being here. You all are amazing. Don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed the video. It would absolutely mean the world to me. Now, let's get into the AMG GT XX. Since the introduction of the GT series in 2015, it has seen a list of variations and additions like the GTS, the GTC, the GTR, the GTR Pro, the Black Series, and even a Dark Knight edition. Completely unrelated. And up until 2023, when a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder and a plug-in hybrid V8 were introduced alongside the traditional twin-turbo V8 setup, the common denominator was gas-powered pony muscle, something all car enthusiasts firmly stand behind. However, in 2025, Mercedes-Benz would release the AMG GT XX concept and completely turn the long-standing GT and its future upside down. Let me be clear here, the XX is a concept car, however, it is an all-electric concept car. But I'll get back to that in a second. Before we discuss the performance numbers, as with any car, how does it look? Does it elicit an emotion, or a feeling, or a desire to have it? Leave me a comment and let me know what you think about the GT XX design. At first look, I see a blend of a Maserati Gran Turismo and a Porsche Taycan, and honestly, I'm not blown away by the design. This version of the GT does not feel like its super aggressive predecessors. It's not ugly, but it's not beautiful either. It looks like it was built to achieve maximum results in a wind tunnel. No more, no less. But what it lacks in overly aggressive design elements, it makes up for with technology and performance. While any new electric vehicle, especially a Mercedes, has loads of new tech throughout, there are a couple of key things that stand out as innovative with the GT XX. As I mentioned earlier, the XX looks like it was built to be as aerodynamic as possible. So much so that it has a drag coefficient of just 0.198. That's better than the Tesla Model S Plaids of 0.208. This is achieved through features like an active rear diffuser and the very noticeable absence of a rear window. Also very noticeable, the tragedy that are the wheels on this vehicle. While straight up ugly and definitely not what I'd want on my uber expensive performance AMG, these flat pedal rims serve more of a purpose than just looking bad. Powered by mini generators in the hub, the carbon inserts on these rims can louver open when the need to cool the brakes is more of a necessity than aerodynamics. When closed at higher speeds, they also help remove air from the wheel arches, which in turn contributes to more downforce. One of the more common features for electric vehicles is an external battery level indicator while charging. More and more EVs incorporate this feature, and the XX is no exception. However, what makes this a unique feature for this car is that Mercedes utilizes luminescent paint instead of LED inserts. Essentially, when an electrical current touches the paint, it lights up. This is interesting and something I could see more manufacturers using in the future. Probably the most notable tech feature is the digital billboard on the back of the car. Yes, there is a 700 LED light panel on the rear of the car that can play pre-programmed images and messages. Mercedes says you will not be able to customize these messages, though honestly it's just a matter of time till someone figures out how to hack this feature. This is a feature that I'm actually surprised hasn't been created for the car market as a whole, but let's be real, this probably isn't going to be used to spread messages of love and positivity. And where the rear trunk lid would normally be, and just below the very odd non-window, is an air brake that can deploy quickly for moments of heavy braking at high speeds. Checking out the interior of the GT XX, there's obviously a lot of ambient lighting throughout, as is the case with all EVs. The interior is created with the concept of minimalistic luxury as well as very driver focused. Multiple touch screens provide all relevant driving information, and the AMG 1 inspired steering wheel gives the driver precise, efficient control of the car. Carbon fiber bucket seats, which can also be custom fit for the owner of the XX, are also wrapped in a biotech leather alternative made from recycled AMG GT3 race tires. The back seats are also carbon fiber and are integrated directly into the bulkhead. It will be interesting to see what features make it to the final product once this car hits production. And finally, let's talk performance. At the heart of any EV are the batteries. Developed from Formula One and the AMG 1, the GTXX boasts a newly developed intelligent lithium-ion battery able to generate up to 1,000 kilowatts of peak power. Using liquid-cooled cells, the battery is able to charge 850 kilowatts in half the time it takes the Tesla Model S Plaid to do the same using Tesla fast chargers. All of that power is transferred to 3 axial flux motors, 1 in the front and 2 in the rear, for a ridiculous output of 1,360 horses. Though it may not look like it, that is hypercar territory. While no official track numbers have been released by Mercedes yet, the word is the GTXX will be sub 2 seconds to 60 and most likely beat the S Plaid at doing it. If that isn't ludicrous as it is, this is a sedan that will seat 4 passengers. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, the way it sounds, or lack thereof. AMGs, without question, always have had a very throaty, ripping V8 under the hood. The GTXX does not have a throaty V8 under its hood. With speakers mounted in the headlights, the idea is that it will create a similar produced sound that AMGs are known for. Because anyone driving an AMG GT is a car enthusiast first and an environmentalist second, even if they are piloting an all-electric vehicle. Right? Let me know if you think Mercedes will be able to create a sound that lives up to the rip of a twin-turbo V8, or will it fall short like the EV Charger? Like I said earlier, this is a concept car, but it does point in the direction that a lot of brands are starting to push research and development. Mercedes has stated that the GT will not become an all-electric platform and will continue to offer the AMG GT in a gas-powered configuration as demand for EVs has begun to slow. In fact, the United States is starting to roll back previously established fuel economy standards for vehicles, and the reality is that EVs are expensive, and I just don't think the battery technology is quite there yet, even with how far it's come over the last decade or so. The GT will still be offered in a twin-turbo V8, a 2-liter hybrid turbo, and in the just-released AMG GT63 SE plug-in hybrid. I'll take one of those, please. So, what do you guys think of the GTXX? Personally, I think it's an interesting vehicle with a ton of tech and even more power, and it's going to be an electric speed demon, but I'm just not blown away by its design. You know, there are just some vehicles you look at and you think, damn, that thing is sick looking. And this just doesn't do that for me, especially with those rims. A version of this concept is set to release in 2026, so we'll just have to wait until then to see what makes the final cut. That's all I have for today. Thank you so much for being here. You are amazing. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button for me before you leave. I would really appreciate it. Thanks again. Look, stay safe out there, take care of each other, and enjoy the ride. Peace.
Hip-hop is dead. Dead. Nobody knows how to make real music anymore. Dead. Dead. Dead.
Trapped in the academy, taught to go back to the majesty, silence and fantasy. Caught up in apathy, tension and thoughtless agony. Academy.